Well, I'm sure other dentists potentially will be horrified. However, we are retailers now. We have to put that within the sphere of being healthcare providers and do things which are in our patients' best interests. However, it is not a paternalistic model anymore. They tell us what they want and we will or we won't provide it. It's not we tell them what they should have anymore. So it is retail.
Okay, hi, welcome. I'm Ross from Hive Business, and I'm pleased to introduce Ewan Bramley from Newcastle.
That sounds terrible. Ewan Bramley from Newcastle. It sounds like a blind date or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's not what we're covering in this video. But thanks for spending your time with us, sharing your time with us today, Ewan. Give us a little bit of your backstory, if it's okay.
As Ross says, I'm Ewan Bramley from Newcastle. I opened up a private practice squat in 2009, and I've been on that roller coaster since. And I started off my relationship with Jonathan Fine from Hive through Breathe, and then so that must be 8 years ago, and have dipped in and out of Hive, but has been using Hive for, I don't know, how long, Ross?
I don't know. Was it 10 years? I do remember you...
5, 6, 7 years, I think.
You drove for 10 hours to get down here as well, so...
I was on a Sunday, yes. It was one of those stupid ideas. Yes, I'll do a course in Cornwall. I also did the stupid thing of thinking it was halfway to go to London and visit a pal, and it doubled the time. So, yes, I'm not the brightest. I'm not the brightest geographically, let's say.
Did you know where Cornwall was?
I've been not ever to the south side of Cornwall, which is much nicer than the north side, I would say.
Yeah. What have been your key challenges along your way? Because you did start with a bold plan in probably one of the more the more kind of poorer parts of Newcastle, and you thought it'd be a great idea to open up a squat there.
Well, the challenges have been business, not dentistry. I'm stupid enough to believe I can, but the difficulty is in the reality and the meticulousness of doing. So, back of a fag packet works for so long, but it's not the name of the game these days. It's a different beast, and it was beyond me for a long time. So it's been a process. Dentistry's never been an issue. I'm not the best, I'm not the worst, but I'm happy to implement and do. And fortunately, I've chosen to open a practice at a time where people are beginning to value and appreciate dentistry. So there's a lot of luck in there, and a fair bit of stubbornness, but business has been my biggest challenge.
Well, you're being a bit modest though, because although you've had your challenges along the way, I hope you don't mind me kind of saying, you're reopening after COVID. You've been very successful.
I think, to compliment myself, the boldness is in reopening. To have the patients there has very little to do with me. It's more to do with, as we've discussed, the fact that nobody else was open and people had all this money in their pockets, and some of the population wanted to spend it on dentistry, and the market's there. I think it will continue. I think it will dip a little, however, not as much as people say. Having been through the last recession, it tends to be an acutely difficult situation for 5 or 10% of the population, but that leaves 90% of the population who aren't too bad. And as long as their desire for dentistry is there, they will spend the money. And people have money these days.
Wait, and you provide a great service. It's you're a wholly private practice, aren't you?
Yes, with over 1,257 5-star reviews, mostly mentioning me. And no. We offer a different type of private dentistry. Private dentistry's gone through a lot. It's not boutique anymore. It's not bollocks. It's services, and it's reasonably priced, expensive, however, giving patients what they want. It's healthcare retail. Jonathan Fine said this years ago. It's healthcare retail.
Well, for those people who perhaps don't understand the nuances, when you kind of talk about retail, and it's a perspective I share. What do you mean by retail?
Well, so I'm sure other dentists potentially will be horrified. However, we are retailers now. We have to put that within the sphere of being healthcare providers and do things which are in our patients' best interests. However, it is not a paternalistic model anymore. They tell us what they want and we will or we won't provide it. It's not we tell them what they should have anymore. So it is retail. That is different. It's not healthcare provision. It's not you need to get that hole fixed. It is I can give you the smile that you want, which is why I think it's retail. Still healthcare, still has to be done appropriately if you want to sleep at night. However, that's what it is in my head.
I do kind of, I have known you for a while, and I think the one thing I've always admired is you've always blended the probably slightly more rule-based product, i.e. the dentistry, with this slightly more kind of, more complex, less rule-based marketing aspect. One of your strengths, I believe, is the amount of time and energy you put into your marketing, and you're willing to try new things, and you're willing to fail at those things, and that's probably a little bit kind of difficult for an engineer like a dentist to assimilate. But you somehow managed to kind of blend the two together, because you are a very successful dentist as well. You do put in the hours to that as well.
Does that mean success? I'm very successful if it's about hours. I'm not sure that is a model that I believe is successful. No, with marketing, prior to opening up, I got into it. I was interested in it. It's a load of bullshit, but it's not. It is time spent doing things regularly, which eventually will pay off. There is no golden bullet that will not work immediately. You should do the things that are simple and have been known for 100 years. The Science and Art of Marketing by that fella from 1920s, direct sales marketing book. It's the same things. Put your name out there, get reviews. Don't be scared of, most dentists are scared of asking for reviews. However, patients now, it's second nature for them to do reviews. They understand the game, and they also understand the power of it from the point of view of, if you don't do a good service, they can review you and it will make an effect. So it is a very honest way of marketing now with reviews, I think.
Talk about online reviews, because you've got a very prominent website, haven't you?
Yeah, well, online reviews, whether it be Google reviews, which are difficult to get, or it's third-party reviews. We use a product that's very good. It makes it easy. And, you have to have some bad reviews in there. Otherwise, you are lying. And patients are savvy these days. They're ahead of us. They're like car thieves. They're always better than the locks we make.
Can you tell us how, it's a bit of a self-serving kind of question, but how's Hive helped you on your journey?
In lots of different ways. With some sort of, what do you call them? Paradigm shifting moments, which are just sentences said, making me think about in different ways. Initially, when I was setting up, not setting up, but in the earlier process of setting up, changing my mindset. And then again, to refer back to just the ongoing support in a business sense, getting down to the figures of dentistry, profitability, shit that I didn't understand, or it's not that I didn't understand, but you can make a lot of mistakes while thinking you're doing well. And it's the bigger you get, the more impactful the mistakes or successes are. So I needed that third-party expertise, specifically from you, Ross, and then very impressed with Dan as well. And Johnny's still got a little bit left in him. You've helped us a lot, but I've got to mention, during COVID, I think the support that Hive have given has been above and beyond. If there had been any hesitance in me in the value that you provided with the fees that you charge. It's been blown out of the water. That has been amazing, the support that Hive has done over COVID for me personally, and then I think for the profession generally, without any extra fees.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's actually one of our core beliefs. It was difficult times for absolutely everyone, so we had our part to play in that. So I don't want to kind of dwell too long on that, but it's just what we.
Well, no, but I will say one thing else. Richard, my brother, who's the practice manager, is the biggest doubter and cynic in the world. Even he has been impressed with Hive over COVID. If he can be impressed, there is something impressive there.
There we go. Thank you very much. What are your predictions then for the future of dentistry? Do you have any predictions? What kind
of course I do. Money doesn't disappear. It's bullshit. Nothing has ever gone backwards in life since humanity started. There are easier times and more difficult times. People will win, people will lose. We are in a very lucky position now where people want to have a smile. It is important to them. As long as it is important to people, people will find a way to pay for it if they can. So the business will be there. There will be winners and losers. I don't know which group I'll fall into. However, it will not be because the business isn't there. It will be because I haven't provided a service that people want at a price that they can pay. 90% of the population will be able to afford it if they choose to.
So this is nothing more than, well, not even a blip, really. It's just a changing in the wind, so to speak.
Well, like the last recession and stuff, it was difficult, and I'm not taking away from the awful time people will have if they lose jobs, mortgages, and stuff like that. However, from a business point of view and from a prediction point of view, they're not in the frame. They're the people who can't spend the money. So we're focusing on the amount of people that can and will. And that's who you got to serve, and they will still be there. Money does not disappear. Humanity, the UK has more money than it's ever had. And whether they believe they can spend it in a few months or not, at the moment they do, and I suspect they will. Young kids, maybe they're not buying houses, maybe they're buying teeth. Who knows what's important to them? But my feeling is that it isn't going to go away. And if you look at the metrics of what is spent on dentistry, it is only going one way. So this is a blip. This is perhaps people might be reticent about, or a section of the population might be reticent about spending money currently or for a period of time, but there will be far more people who aren't.
Well, the statistics that that we found out there suggest that the spending in dentistry has doubled over the last 10 years. So, that's a massive growth in any industry. So, okay, let's make the assumption there is a recession at this moment, or, just around the corner when it bites, I suppose. The spending might be less than it was last year, but as you say, there's still enough spending to go around if you're not, if you're not just ignoring it. I mean, there are a lot of practices that are still shut at this moment.
Exactly. And I think, again, it's sort of, you hit the nail on the head with, it will hit not the consumer market, it'll hit the healthcare market. So the healthcare market will shut down on unnecessary spending. Consumers will still consume and go for the smile if they have the money in their pocket. That's an emotional desire, not something that you knock off the list. And we're dealing with people who aren't really, a lot of, you've got two sections to my customers. You've got the over 50s or 60s who are through it and have got the money in the bank, or you've got the under 30s who aren't in the shit with debt and stuff. They've got disposable income. It's the people in between that will shut down temporarily.
My age.
Not quite as old as you, Ross, but but people with families, they've got bigger priorities, as they should do, to be spending their money on.
Yeah. And you're still finding that people are still making those purchasing decisions now, then, for the elective treatment? And
insanely, we've had our not best month financially, but best month new patient numbers wise ever. And It looks like we're going to do it this month. I thought this month would be quieter because I think a lot of people are on holiday. However, new patient numbers are huge, and the type of dentistry we do, that will outcome at turnover.
Well, great work, Ewan. Great work.
Well, thank goodness the NHS practices are still being paid, so they don't have to open.
Would you recommend Hive to someone? What type of person would you recommend Hive to?
I can only speak for myself and my situation. So anybody in a situation where they are an associate thinking of purchasing a practice, I think there's lots of mistakes to be made, and to stand on the shoulders of people who have an understanding of the broader market can only help you. If you are a new practitioner struggling with the massive amount, take some advice from people who have, in a short space of time, gained a huge amount of experience in the market that you were in. So for me, private practice is the market Hive's in for me. And you know a lot because you've got your fingers in a lot of pies. So you spread the good ideas and round off the bad ideas. So I would recommend it to anyone who wanted to grow a private practice on the model of new patients. If you are in a dent plan situation, I don't know, maybe Hive isn't for you. If you're in a old style type situation, maybe Hive isn't for you. But for me, the combination of marketing expertise, fingers on the pulse of what's happening, and good accountancy savvy is critical. It'll make your life easier rather than harder.
Thank you very much, Ewan. Thank you very much for your taking the time out today. I think you probably got a party to go to or something. So
no, it's my new jacket. I'm wearing it all the time.
Well, I do appreciate you sparing the time, and thank you very much. And I'm sure we'll speak shortly.
Make me a star.
I will do, and thank you very much. Do appreciate it.
No problem, Ross. Thank you. Bye bye.